Welcome to Bad Idea Metals. I'm Anthony, and I'm also excited to show you something. So a month ago, I did a little test run with a smaller batch of RAM. This stuff is much more valuable. It's got a lot more IC chips. This is server stuff mostly. I did a test run, and I want to show you kind of the results of that test run. So I have been clipping the fingers off and scraping the surface mount stuff off of RAM for a number of years, and I get the gold from the chips, and I get the gold from the fingers, and it takes a long time, and I get a lot of blisters. Not to mention that I don't always get all of the smaller surface mount stuff, which contains silver and other precious metals. So I decided end of last year, that I would do this test right here. So what did I do? I took a handful of RAM and set it in hydrochloric acid. And here's why. So the hydrochloric acid will help me liberate the fingers and the tin and solder off of IC chips. So why was I chopping all the fingers off and scraping all the surface mount stuff off if I could do that anyway with the whole stick and get all the surface mount silver bearing components off too? So happily, the liquid turned into a dark green, a dark color, which indicated to me that the base metals that I expected to go into solution went into solution just fine. And then you could see here that it made a big mess of surface mount components and fingers, which I had to sort through, and the sorting didn't take too long, and that was exciting, because then I got to see all of the material that I was going to be left with. So, in my opinion, that was a great success. We ended up with all this material, and here I'm trying to show you the bottom of the beaker where you can see the IC chips and the gold fingers have been liberated, and they're pretty easy to separate. I wanted to reuse that acid, make sure that I didn't waste anything, I would be able to reuse it. So I put that green liquid, as you can see here, is nice darker green, lime green. But after I let that sit for a few days, the liquid turned clear again. And I noticed something pretty interesting. It must have taken and swapped places. The copper in the solution fell out of solution, and the tin switched places. Because here, take a look at this. You can see right here, you can see that the chips are coming off. The liquid is no longer green, it's almost a gray. But there's something really strange that happened. Look here. All of a sudden I'm seeing copper deposits everywhere, and on the bottom as well. So it's pretty exciting. So what that means to me is that I can recover the copper. It's not going to be pure, but I could use that copper in other things. Anyway, I just wanted to show you that. It's just pretty interesting to me. My process now will be to let the acid do it. I currently have about 4 of these barrels running right now, with maybe 300 or 400 sticks of RAM in each barrel. So it makes it really easy for me to let the acid do its work, which I needed it to do anyway. There are a few other steps that I have to do still, but for the most part, the gold itself is pretty liberated. The chips themselves, it's just an incineration step, and then there's a little bit of nitric later on. But I'm pretty excited because this takes all of the blisters away. I don't have any mechanical process of chopping off fingers and scraping off chips. So I've got some plans to do some lost wax cast. I've got a filament that a friend of mine with a 3D printer that will be able to use that filament. We're gonna make some fun stuff, and I'll show you what we're working on there. I hope to have a final follow-up video to this, maybe at the end of this summer, where I actually do all of the refinements. Well, thanks for watching. See you in the next video.